Today we're in the standard to have a random encounter, but it costs just $20. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffrada, and it's time for another edition of Budget Magic. And this week, we have a cheap one. We are heading to Standard to have a random encounter for just $20, which I know sounds a little bit sketchy, but I promise the deck is actually super sweet. So let's talk about our $20 random encounter deck, what it's trying to do, jump into some games, see the deck in action. So we are built around random encounter, a 6-mana red sorcery from Final Fantasy that says shuffle your library, mill 4 cards, put each creature milled this way on the battlefield with haste, bounce it back to your hand at the beginning of the next end step, also flashback for 8 mana. So random encounter is one of my favorite style of cards. It reminds me of Unexpected Results, where you can cast this and hit 4 creatures and maybe just win the game on the spot. You could also cast it and hit 4 lands. It'd be very, very sad. Although, if that happens, at least you got flashbacks so you can try again in the future. But essentially, our deck is built in such a way that we are trying to maximize the power of random encounter and increase the chances that a single copy could just win us the game. We also have Breaching Dragonstorm, which is essentially a backup random encounter. Not nearly as good in our deck, but for 5 mana, it essentially cascades into something mana value 8 or less, so we can hit our big finishers or we're playing for random encounter, or if we're really lucky, hit a random encounter, which will then put a bunch of other stuff into play. We also have a couple of ram spells, summon Fenrir Springbloom Druid, just to get us to random encounter as fast as possible. And then we have the big finishers for the deck. So big finisher number 1 is Overlord of the Boiler Biggles. And Overlord of the Boiler Biggles, I really didn't want to put in this deck just because my goal for this deck was to make it 0 rares or mythics for Magic Arena. But as I was building it, I realized Overlord of the Boiler Biggles is just so perfect with random encounter that I had to break my own rule and play Overlord of the Boiler Biggles anyway. So Overlord of the Boiler Biggles, when it enters, or when it attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target. So if we hit it off random encounter, we get 4 damage from it entering. It can immediately attack thanks to haste, so that's 4 more damage, and it's a 5/5. So a single Boiler Biggles represents up to 13 damage, and if we need to, we can throw the damage at creatures to get them out of the way. If we ever hit 2 Boiler Biggles with a random encounter, we usually just win the game on the spot. So it's just absolutely perfect. Plus, we know he's in Pendant is a removal spell. And then we have our Parade of Janky Big Bodies. And these are cards that they look pretty janky, but honestly, they're really not that bad. And doubly so for putting multiples of them into play with a random encounter. But like Pelakka Worm, I remember Rise of the Eldrazi or Pelakka Worm, where this was a rare, not like a chase rare, but it was kind of playable, like a 7 mana 7/7 trample that gained you 7 life and drew a card when it died. That was actually like a pretty good card in Rise of Eldrazi era. Now it's a lowly uncommon that no one has thought about in years. But with this deck, it's kind of perfect. We hit it off random encounter, we gain 7 if we're low on life, we smash you with this big trampler. Coliseum Behemoth, another 7/7 trampler, can draw a card or blow up a artifact or enchantment when it enters. Nurturing Bristleback leaves behind a token when it enters, which means even if we bounce it back to our hand with random encounter, we get a 3/3 left over, plus we can forest cycle it. Alternate Diamond Weapon, just really big. Alternate can also be ramp if we pitch it to get a land back from our graveyard. And then Twin Maw Stormbrood. This is essentially our removal spell, so we can't really afford to play like a Scorching Shot or a Get Lost, because those are whiffs with random encounter. We want as much as possible in our deck to be stuff that we want to hit with random encounter. So Twin Maw Stormbrood is absolutely perfect because we can cast it as a 2-mana removal spell, and then if we hit it with random encounter, it's not as exciting as a Boiler Biggles or a Pelakka Worm, but still it's a 5/4 flyer that gains us 5 life, and it's our only dragon, so it's a way we can pick up Breaching Dragonstorm, so it's actually very solid in the deck. But that's essentially the plan of the deck. Mana base, as cheap as it can be, a bunch of basics, 4 Terramorphic Expanse, and honestly, the mana's worked fine, even with this janky mana base, so color screw hasn't really been a problem. And that is a $20 random encounter for standard. And that's our Budget Magic deck for today. So let's jump into some games and see what happens if you cast a few random encounters in a $20 standard deck. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it. And I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Want to help out the channel? Well, you can snag these super sweet new dice, playmats, tokens, and more over at mtggoldfishmerch.com. Today we're having a random encounter for for just $20. $20 random encounter sounds a bit sketchy. Who knows what'll happen, but That is the fun. This hand looks fine. Altinic can actually be a ramp spell with our Terramorphic expanse. And we got the random encounter, which that's what it's all about. So let's just lead on, I think, the Terramorphic expanse past the turn. See what our dear opponent is up to. Opponent, land, and Miner's Guidewing. Okay, 1/1, 1/1, oh. Birds of some kind appears to be a bird stack. Well, let's crack this. Grab a mountain. Play the forest so we can land cycle. It's probably better just to do some Altinic ramping, though. The land comes into play tapped. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's just pass. We can do it at instant speed. See what our opponent has. Gonna chip in for 1 with the bird. Sure. Well, let's Altinic, get back a Terramorphic expanse. And, well, okay, this is kind of working out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Summon Fenrir's 5. I mean, we can have a random encounter next turn. whether or not that's a good thing. No one knows. We cast it and pray to the magic gods. Found it gonna flash in a Plume Veil Esker. So it's definitely a birds deck of some kind. But birds that aren't all just Chocobo. Opponent starting down. And Bart's and Boko, eh? All right, gonna kill the summon Fenrir. Well, that's fine because we're about to have a random encounter. Found it. Kill the summon Fenrir. All right, let's see what happens. Found it. Hits us down to 16. Land. Random encounter. Shuffle them up. Mill the top. Oh my god. And wait, is that game? Did we just win? Did we just win? Overlord of the Boiler Biggles is our one rare in the deck. One mythic in the deck. It's so good with and a Palaka Worm. I think we got him. Found it. Yep. Do your expiration. And here comes the crew. Overlord ya. Found it down to 11. Found it down to dead and best random encounter ever. Totally worth the $20. Would do again. Random encounter time. And all right, we got the Altinic plan again. So the goal of this deck's pretty simple. Also, we got the Breaching Dragonstorm. The goal of this deck is pretty dang simple, which is we would like to ramp up to 6 mana and cast a random encounter and see what we can see. Well, let's play the plains. We're going to Altinic back a land. Wouldn't mind hitting another Deep Cavern Bat. Well, let's Altinic while we got the chance. How do we do against Dimir? This should be interesting. So mana-wise, this deck, it's 4 Terramorphic Expanses in all basics, about as cheap as you can be. So as you're fetching out your lands, we need double red for random encounter, then we need triple green for Palaka Worm, and then we have the 1 white source so we can cast our Omen Dragon removal spell thing. Now let's crack some Terramorphic Expanses. Opponent does take our Breaching Dragonstorm, which is... Makes sense. It means we're going to have to wait another turn if we're going to have a random encounter, so we might be doing nothing this turn. Opponent MXelk, gonna do a little looting. Looting away a removal spell that doesn't really do anything against their deck, annoying with Affliction. Ooh, Boiler Biggles. Alright, well, I mean, let's do a little Boiler Biggling. I think we just get rid of the bat so we can Breaching Dragonstorm next turn if we don't draw land. Alright, opponent. Would you like to have a random encounter? Opponent land. And... Intimidation Tactics, sure. Cannot take random encounter or Breaching Dragonstorm. Well, I mean, we get to do a thing next turn. In a perfect world, we draw an untapped land in random encounter, but we could Breaching Dragonstorm and hit a random encounter. That is a possibility. Opponent going to intimidate our 7-drop. Opponent getting in with MSL. Gonna do even more looting. I mean, they could have counters. Counters are a thing that Dimir can play. Pitches a Flood Pit Drowner, interesting. Are we Kaidoing? Okay. All right, well, Kaido is very good. Opponent gets in, hits us. But we, worst case, get to Breaching Dragonstorm, which is also pretty good. Ugh, tap land. All right. Not the best time for the Terramorphic Expanse. So Breaching Dragonstorm, spin it to win into Twin Maw Stormbrood. I mean, Twin Maw Stormbrood is kind of a whiff. But as far as whiffs go, it's not that bad. It's our worst hit out of our big creatures, but it does get back to Breaching Dragonstorm to do it again. And a 5/4 flyer is, like, not bad. It's just not as good as, like, a 7/7 Trampler or something. Found it. Gonna go for the Throat the Dragon. Sure. I mean, our opponent knows a random encounter is coming too, so they might, if they have a counter, they might sit on it, because they do know this is the turn that we could have a random encounter. Now, opponent plays a land, gonna pass. Do we still do it is the question. Let's grab a forest. If we draw a land, we could just, like, Palaka Worm. Ugh, all right, well, that's Breaching Dragonstorm. If something's gonna get countered, I'd rather it be that. Spin it to win it, spin it to win it into even more Breaching Dragonstorms. Okay. Well, spin it to win it into... All right, Coliseum Behemoth is fine. 7/7 trample, and we get to draw a card. I love that we get to play Palaka Worm. I love Palaka Worm. For some reason, it's a card I'm nostalgic about from back in Rise of the Eldrazi, one of the best old school limited sets, or like mid-years limited sets. But Palaka Worm was a rare back then, and oh man, 7/7 trample, and you gain life, and you draw. I love me some Palaka Worm. Now it's a random uncommon that no one plays, but back in my day, Palaka Worm. It was basically like a Troxer of Elgavoth before their time. not from a competitive perspective. Opponent, all right. Gonna tap down our 7/7 Trampler. We would absolutely love to draw. Okay. Kaido's the Kaido. Gonna do a little looping. Hits us to 15. Well, I guess this lets them stun and then draw. We really just need to draw a land here. We have 3/7. Well, okay. If we're not going to draw a land, Breaching Dragonstorm's fine. Spin it to win it, spin it to win it. Ew. All right, well, Summon Fenrir is not the best. It is kind of a whiff as far as Dragonstorms go, but it does get us land number 7, which turns on the Palaka Worms. We also get our Boiler Biggles off of InPen. About it. I'm going to go for the throat. Thankfully, we're still at 15, so we're not dying to this Kaido. They've had to do a lot of shenanigans to get around our 7/7's opponent getting in, hitting us. For sure, are we ninjutsuing? No. All right, down to 11. Unfortunately, we have not had a random encounter. I'm a little disappointed. I was all geared up for a random encounter with that opening hand, and then we got batted. Opponent. MS Elk. Gonna do a little looting. How close are they're up to 11 cards? They're actually close to flipping MS Elk, which I think would be very bad for us. We need to try to pressure this Kaido in a way that makes our opponent. All right, opponent's tap down, random encounter. Twinmore Stormbird. Okay, well, you know what? I think it's Palaka Worm time. Can you beat a 7/7 Trampler that gains us 7 life? Back up to 18. Can you beat it, opponent? We're playing some good, clean 2010 Magic here, opponent. Are they gonna stun it again? These stun counters are getting annoying. All right, Quasi Revenant on the MS Elk. Flying Lifelink Death Touch. 11 cards in the graveyard. I'm surprised they're not focusing. Maybe they just don't really care about flipping MS Elk, but I feel like if they flip MS Elk, we just lose. And now that it has flying, we can't Twinmore Stormbrood it, which is, so we need them to block with it. If I was the opponent, I would just be going all in on trying to flip this MS Elk. All right, opponent. Gonna Kaido, the Kaido. Instead, our opponent is just going to ninjutsu Kaido off Kaido again and again and again. 2 to the graveyard. Oh boy. All right. Oh, diamond weapons. Not the worst. Well, step 1, attack this dang Kaido. Hopefully our opponent blocks. Okay. Oh. All right, that makes me feel better. The Kaido lives, but I was really worried about MS Elk flipping. That would have been disastrous. Well, how about another Palaka Worm? You know what's better than 1 Palaka Worm? How about 2 Palaka Worms? Oh, opponent's playing arguably the best deck in Standard, and we are Palaka Worming them. It's kind of hilarious. We haven't really got to do the explosive thing because they took our random encounter, but maybe just casting a 7-drop, 1 7-drop a turn each turn, maybe that'll be enough. Like, eventually, our opponents, like, they're not going to be able to tap down everything forever. Gets in with the bat. Are we ninjutsuing off the bat and giving back the random encounter? Please? Please? Okay. Yes. Kaido. Gonna Legend Rule. Yeah. Legend rules the Kaido. Gets and hits us down to 15. Sure. And then what? Stuns a Palaka Worm? I don't know how Kaido is stunning that big old Palaka Worm, but don't think about it too much. About it. I mean, they got a bat again, right? They can't, unless they have a counter, I don't think they can let us random encounter. I mean, I guess you never know. Random encounter could also just whiff. That is also a possibility that we could just stone whiff on a random encounter. What? Takes the die? Okay. Wait, do we get to random encounter? I mean, maybe they got a counter, but we've been waiting all game for our random encounter. We'll play the land first in case they have Phantom Interference, I guess. And yeah, let's see what happens. Spinner to win it, spinner to win it. You got a counter? No. Oh my God, double boiler. Double boiler pickles again. Okay. Well, shoot that bat, shoot that Kaido. $20 random encounter is so good. It's so good. Would we like to cycle? And it doesn't matter. Opponent scoops it up, and well, that was a long and grindy one, but we just took down Demir with Palaka worms and random encounters. Sweet. It is random encounter time. We're having a $20 random encounter with Badger. It's kind of sketch. We're going to try it. We are on the play, which helps. We just don't do anything until turn 4, which if our opponent's aggro could be an issue. Island for our opponent. Ooh, there's random encounter. All right, we'd love a ramp spell. Spectral Sailor, eh? Okay, so spirits? I don't think it can be spirits in standard, really. Bounty gets and hits us down to 19. Well, Breaching Dragonstorm is fine, although we still kind of need some... We are doing this the slow way. Slow and steady wins the random encounter. Opponent, what do you got? Untaps and island and smacks us. Land and... I mean, I guess we're going to impend this. I don't even know if we kill the 1/1. We might just go face. I don't know if I care enough about... All right, opponent's going to counter it. Better that than Breaching Dragonstorm or random encounter. Those are the cards we really want to resolve. Opponent gets and hits us. One more land would be fine. We're doing this the fair way. The fair way, the slow way. All right, there's the land. Well, land and Breaching Dragonstorm. Do you have another counter? No. Spin it to win it, spin it to win it into... Oh my God, a random encounter. Okay. Okay, the dream. Random encounter into... Game. We kept the slowest hand and still just killed him on turn 4. Hitting Boiler Biggles off a random encounter is so good. Wow. In standard. And this hand looks pretty good. We got some ramp. We got Palaka Worm. We don't have anything you can duress. Well, let's play the tap land past turn. We don't have a random encounter, but just casting Palaka Worm could be good enough. Plains. We're gonna have all of our mana with this hand pretty easily. Ooh, I like that. Well, let's forest cycle. Snag another land. Play the forest and get down the summon Fenrir. Our ramping's going pretty well so far. Opponent. Gonna kill it, sure. I mean, that's fine. It's a ramp spell. If it sticks around, that's a bonus. If it dies, we still got to ramp. So next turn, ooh, slasher. Okay. Do we impend the Overlord? I think I want to Spring Bloom. We can't die this turn, right? Because if they play the other combo piece, they don't have the mana to kill the Spring Bloom. So let's just ramp again. We can chump block, and then next turn. All right, Unholy Annex, sure. So we can jump block next turn, we can just full price the Overlord, rather than impending it, which seems better. Opponent, Unholy Annex, gonna draw a card. Now we have some options. We could, actually, yeah, let's just Coliseum Behemoth. Our opponent's missing land drops. I think I'd rather accept this slasher hit if we had to, and deal with the Annex. All right, there's the Bloodletter. So now we got a chump, unfortunately. But this is still kind of fine. So this kills the slasher. But now we can Boiler Biggles plus Stormbrood and just sweep the board. And then follow up with Palaka Worm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, we have enough mana too. Well, Overlord. Full price. Take down the Bloodletter. Because Stormbrood can only hit ground creatures. And then Stormbrood, wow. That went from us almost being dead to us being in a pretty good spot now. that was close. That was close. Bona had the combo. Bona land. The Speed Demon. Sure. Ooh, Breaching Dragonstorm. Is Breaching Dragonstorm even better than just playing a Palaka Worm? Well, get in and hit ya. If we Breaching Dragonstorm, we're hoping to hit a Palaka Worm, so... Maybe it's better just to cast it. We'll see. Let's see what our opponent does. They almost have to block, right? Unless they're just going to untap and kill it. Yeah, opponent blocks with the Speed Demon. Yeah, let's get down Plaka Worm. Sneaky standard playable? Maybe? In our $20 random encounter deck? Aw. All right, maybe we should have played Breaching Dragonstorm. Well, if they kill the worm, we get to draw a card. That is part of the power. Opponent Children. Oh my goodness. Okay. Random encounter. Spin it to win it. Oh, that was not even a good random encounter. It still might be enough, though. Okay, summon Fenrir Diamond Weapon. Is this enough? Get in, hit ya. I mean, the other power of random encounter is we just get to do it again. If we hit ramp, we get to do it again the next turn. Opponent goes to 3. Sheoldred down. We pick him up. Plaka for the win. Demon Wall. Okay. Good card, but not Plaka. Unstoppable Slasher. Sure. Well, yeah, let's have another random encounter. All right, that was a good one. Boiler Pickles, Plaka and his Stormbrood, and don't even need the attack, and we're just kind of running the table with this deck. Maybe $20 random encounter is the new meta. It might be the new meta. Did we break it? In this hand, we got no random encounter, but we have a lot of ramp and a Plaka. And Plaka might be better than random encounter anyway, opponent. Land, and, ooh, Paw Patch, ew, all right. Aggro on the play. That is kind of scary. That is a little scary. Are we going to be fast enough? Boiler Biggle's not a bad draw once we get to it. So we can crack the fetch. Next turn we can alternate the fetch. Next turn we can Spring Bloom do it. Ooh, Phineas. Ooh, that is also scary. Growing the rabbits. I mean, our opponent's only got 3 cards in hand, though. Bounty hits us down to 18. Ooh, Stormbrood. As much as I want to ramp here, I feel like we probably have to kill Phineas. It just snowballs a bit. Putting a counter on everything when it attacks seems bad for us. Opponent, land. And I mean, that's gonna get big and scary eventually. Let's play the forest and might as well Spring Bloom. So sack the forest. I guess we just get Forest Mountain. We can Impending Overlord next turn. Can we live long enough? Ah, man, having to take that turn off. Maybe we shouldn't have killed Phineas. I don't know. I wish we could have ramped more. If we could have ramped more, we got to get... Oh, no. Hop to it. Ooh. I remember this deck from right when Bloom Girl came out, and rabbits were kind of a hot thing. Yeah, we're just going to take it this turn. Down to 8. We can still kill... Yeah, we have to impend, though. Oh. Yeah, having to take that turn off to kill Phineas really hurt. Well, Overlord, get rid of the Valley Might Caller. Opponent gets a counter, puts it on the right. We're not technically dead on board. The problem is, though, we can't cast any of our big things next turn. We have to draw a Breaching Dragonstorm, I think. That would be try to survive this turn, Breaching Dragonstorm into random encounter, steal the win somehow. That's probably our only shot here. Oh, Lord. Oh, that does it, right? Well, we block there. Oh, that. Okay, now that literally does it. Well, rabbits. All right, this hand's actually pretty good. We need another land, but we can get it by forest cycling if we don't draw it. If we just draw it, we can just ramp into Plaka. And Plaka, unbeatable, apparently. I think every game that we've had a Plaka on the battle... Ooh, there's a random encounter. I'm pretty sure every game we've had a Plaka on the battlefield, we've won. Literally undefeated record, 100% win rate. That does mean we cast a 7-drop, so... It doesn't happen every game. Opponent, Cruel Claws Heist, no gift. Well, in response, grab a forest. I'm sure they're going to take random encounter. That card just looks scary. You know it's kind of random, literally in the name, and it could go wrong, but it looks scary enough that I feel like you gotta just take it, right? Or maybe some respect for the Plaka. Doesn't seem like there's much sense in taking ramp since we have 3 3-mana ramp spells. They're all basically the same. Wow. All right, opponent. Okay, sure. Opponent decides to go with one of the ramp spells, so we will summon Fenrir. We will take that. That means we are still on course for a random encounter. Random encounter into Boiler Biggles in specific is so absurd. I am glad. I initially wanted to make this a 0 rare deck. That was my initial thought, is try to be literally 0 rares. And then it turned out that Boiler Biggles is just it's so insane that it was worth making an exception. Yeah, we're going to get in. If you want to trade with your lifelinker, that's fine. I mean, we got the mana. We got the random encounter. Does our opponent have another discard spell? Shoot the sheriff on the Fenrir. Sure. I mean, we don't really care about that because we're about to do the thing. All right, well. We do have a lot of big things in hand. Well, let's random encounter. See what we can see. Spin it to win it. Spin it to win it. Into. Ooh, okay. That is our worst random encounter yet. Just a Twin Maw. The thing is, even when random encounter is bad, like, we still got 6 mana worth of creatures. Like, I guess it's temporary because it's going to bounce back to our hand. Although this bouncing back to our hand is not bad because it's a removal spell. So, actually not the worst. But yeah, that is about as bad as we've hit. It is possible to straight up whiff and get 0 creatures. Although, our deck is so creature heavy, it's pretty unlikely. And gonna get in and hit us. Back up to 18. Can we draw a land? We want to draw a land for... Huh. Well, I guess we can Ultinic back a land. That kind of means we're doing nothing this turn. I guess we also can land cycle. Yeah, let's forest cycle. Would have been better just to draw land, and then we could do things this turn. Although this is gonna let us random encounter next turn. How many random encounters does it take to beat mono black? This might be a multi-random encounter type of game. Found it. Gonna fire up the Soulstone Sanctuary. Try to speed up the clock a bit. Plays another one. Well, I mean, not all of our random encounters can be bad, right? Let's Ultinic. Get back the forest. And now we can spin it to win it. Spin it to win it again if we want to. It's hard for me to imagine something else is gonna be better than a random encounter, but I wish some of those block worms were in our deck. Well, play the land. Let's thin the deck. Practice Terramorphic Expanse. Might as well grab our planes now. And yeah, let's see what happens. Random encounter number 2. Into. Okay, that's a little better. Boiler Biggles and another Stormbrood. So we gain some life. Kill the flyer. I mean, if they don't kill the Boiler Biggles, it's just gonna wrap their board here. Back up to 18. Opponent. No, don't you be looking at Boiler Biggles. Opponent. Opponent. Children's Edict, okay. Well, we can sack the flyer, sure. And another, all right. Well, our opponent has successfully survived 2 random encounters. The bad news for our opponent is, we got another one in the queue for next turn, opponent. Soulstone Sanctuary fires it up, gets it for 6, back down to 12. Or we, all right. Well, okay, even more random encounters. Yeah, let's play it from hand so we can also cast a removal. Okay. Random encounter number 3. 2 summon Fenrirs. Well, we are not making random encounters look especially appealing at the moment. Most of the time we've cast 1 random encounter and it's won us the game. Now we're on number 3 and we still have not won the game. Our opponent's actually still at 21 at the moment. We're still at 12. I mean, at some point we can play a block worm if we need to gain back some life. I keep thinking a random encounter is gonna hit us something at some point, but so far, I mean, the one before this was not bad with the Boiler Biggles and the Stormbrood, but then our opponent had the removal spell. Well, let's get in. Oh, I'm so dumb. Okay, we should have attacked with both of them. I don't know. I had a little brain fart. We're like, oh, we can block with one of them, but no, that's not how a random encounter works. There's no blocking in random encounters. All gas and no breaks. Opponent Swamp and Archfiend of the draws. Okay. Can we have a good random encounter, please, so we don't die? Opponent gonna give it lifelink. Well, there's a forest. So opponent has 9 damage on the battlefield. We're gonna trust. We gotta trust the random encounter, right? We can play a summon Fenrir first. Thin the deck. I mean, eventually we're just gonna have all of the lands out of our deck. Okay. Random encounter number 4. Oh, thank goodness. Finally a good one. So we get to draw a card. Palaka Worm is huge. So we're going to gain, what, 12 life here? So draw a card. Play the forest. Go to combat. Hit ya. Gonna leave back the Stormbrood because we actually want to bounce it back to hand here rather than have it die. Wow, opponent takes it to 4. Okay. Pick them up. We're back to 21. We got to discard a hand size, which will be a summon Fenrir. All right. The 5th one. It's the 5th random encounter that gets you. We need one more. Opponent. We're just random encountering our deck here. Hits us down to 10. Opponent gains back some life back to 10. Well, we could do other things, but we're just gonna play random encounters and see what happens. Number 5. Random encounter 5. There we go. There we go. That's what we were looking for. That's Boiler Biggles and a diamond weapon. Hit your face? I guess it doesn't really matter. I think our opponent's dead no matter what we choose. Actually, they can fire up another Soulstone Sanctuary, but we can Charring Bite, get rid of one of them. So this should still mean, yeah, opponent. Wow. Well, that was not the cleanest random encounter. It took 5 it took 5 random encounters to get there. But if you have enough random encounters, sooner or later one of them's gonna be good. I think that's the lesson from that game. Well, yeah, let's keep doing that, but hopefully a little bit better. Yeah, this is another one of those kind of slow hands. Although we do have the Storm Brood, so we got a bit of removal, which is nice. Oh boy, Control. I feel like Control is not a good matchup for this deck. That is my guess, is that Control is not a great matchup. The thing with Control is, oh, okay, not Control, thank goodness. Some sort of artifact deck, that's fine. We don't care about your stinking artifacts. Market Gnome. Ooh, Summon Fenrir is about as good of a draw as we can have. We really want a Ram Spell with this deck. Hitting a Ram Spell early is so big. Opponent, land, and... well, there's the Synthesizer. We're pretty good at making big creatures, but Synthesizer is also very good at making big creatures. We might, well, we'll see. We'll see. Ooh, another Summon Fenrir. Okay. Let's Summon Fenrir. I mean, the ramping's going well. We need a random encounter. We're missing a random encounter. Let's get the Plains. In case we decide to cast a Storm Brood eventually, get in, hit ya. I will also say, our mana's worked out absolutely fine with this deck. We have not had really, and I mean, you're gonna mana screwed sometimes in Magic, but color-wise, considering our mana base is 20 basics and 4 Terramorphic expanses, we have really had no issues with our colors. Oh god, double Synthesizer. I don't know if I've ever beat double Synthesizer. One synthesizer is like somewhat manageable sometimes. 2 synthesizers. Oh, that would be so good if we could cast it. Oh, okay. Random encounter, though. Random encounter. I mean, we're not going to complain about drawing a random encounter. It would have been nice if we could just blow up a Synthesizer, but we're 1 mana short. I guess we can Boiler Biggles, kill the Construct. I feel like we have to manage the Constructs now. Oh, it hurts to not random encounter. But the problem is if we don't kill a Construct now, and then they make 2 more Constructs, their Constructs will be too big for Boiler Biggles to kill. And once they get to that point, we're in serious trouble. So I think as much as it hurts not to just spin around, oh no, United Battlefront. If they double hit here, we're probably dead. Okay. Single hit. Okay, so only 2 Synthesizer triggers. If they got 4 Synthesizer triggers, I don't think we could win. They get rid of the Boiler Biggles. They kill the Summon Fenrir. We draw, sadly, a tap land. Well, random encounter, save us. Okay. So we get the Coliseum Behemoth, which is huge. We can blow up an artifact. Oh, do we just have to blow up a Synthesizer? We can blow up the Assimilation Aegeus, get back Boiler Biggles. Yeah, I think we got to get a Synthesizer first. So blow up a Synthesizer, go to combat, do some attacking. We would love our opponent to block. I don't think they should, because we're going to bounce our things back to our hand anyway. I mean, maybe the Coliseum... wow, they double block. Okay, we are fine with this. We are super fine with this. So we get in for 2, we clean up all the tokens. Yeah, getting those tokens off the battlefield is absolutely massive for us. Okay, we might actually be in this game somehow against the double Synthesizer. Double Synthesizer United Battlefront draw is kind of insane. Repurposing Bay for our opponent. Yeah, gonna make another Construct. Sure. Well, crack the fetch. If we draw a land, we can random encounter, but it's probably better just to... Coliseum Behemoth is way safer. We can Coliseum Behemoth... oh, this is actually kind of cute. So we can Coliseum Behemoth. We can blow up the Assimilation Aegeus. Get back Boiler Biggles. Boiler Biggles. Just enough damage to kill the Construct. And then hit ya. So this gives our opponent 1. So they can, like, Repurposing Bay, sack the Saw Blade, get another Synthesizer, make some Constructs. If they draw land and can follow that up with another 3-mana artifact, they could get 3 Constructs. I think our opponent needed not to block that random encounter turn. I think if they did not block that turn, they could have made big enough Constructs that our deck wouldn't do anything. Perilous Snare, eh? Get rid of something. Yeah, our opponent not hitting their 4th land is also really hurting them. Well, we have another one. Coliseum Behemoth has been great in this matchup, and apparently just casting 7-drops is actually kind of good somehow. Ooh, all right. Maybe actually Breaching Dragonstorm time. Looking at this hand, this looks more like a Breaching Dragonstorm kind of hand. Sure. Fenrir into Dragonstorm to see what happened. We could Dragonstorm into a random encounter. That'd be even better. I feel like Mono Black's kind of popular. The new, what is it, Arch Enemy's Charm? That card's so... I see people complaining about Arch Enemy's Charm and saying they think it's underpowered. I think that card is legit awesome. At least in Standard. Like, I don't know if it's like modern good, but I definitely think it's a very good Standard card. You do need to be able to pay triple black, so you got to be like mono black or close to it. Like, you're not going to play in a 3-color deck or pull a slasher. Slashy 10. Well, summon Fenrir. Do a little ramping. We need to draw an untapped land next turn, I think. We need to draw the untapped land so we can spin it to win with a Breaching Dragonstorm and see what happens. Slasher is scary. It's just such a fast clock. Opponent land. Nowhere to run. Well, all right. There goes half of our life total. Sure. Down to 18. Well, there's the land. All right. Let's see what happens. Breaching Dragonstorm. Spin it to win it. Spin it to win it. Random encounter is the best hit. Actually, the thing that makes a 3/3 token might be the next best here. We really got to somehow block. I guess removal dragon wouldn't be the worst either. I don't know. We gotta somehow not keep taking slasher hits. That is the TLDR. We need to stop getting slashed. All right. Oh, Yeah, I mean, I guess we just go removal mode. I feel like blocking mode's too risky, right? We play it, we gain some life, which is nice. But then if they just go for the throat or edict it or something, then we get hit by slasher again. And we really can't afford to get hit by slasher again. Opponent swamp. And, well, there's the combo piece. Blood Throw back the Zots. Well, all we got's another spin. Breaching Dragonstorm. Come on, random encounter. All right, how about a Breaching Dragonstorm? Come on, random encounter. Oh, silly dragon again. Well, I mean, I guess we can play it. Sadly, if we could hit the Acklazots, I'd cast it removal mode. But being able to pick up all the Breaching Dragonstorms, we're in a very weird position because all of our hand is 7 mana plus. So even if we draw land, we can't cast anything. So playing this dragon mode means next turn at least we get to play another Breaching Dragonstorm. Playing nothing next turn is not... All right, they have the removal spell. Playing nothing next turn is not acceptable. That is not an acceptable solution. Opponent gonna get it hit us down to 10. And even more slashing. Well, spin it. It's got to be random encounter for the win here with 2 slashers out. Palaka Worm. All right, we're not going to cast it because we want to keep Palaka Worm's undefeated record going. But yeah, 2 slashers, a little bit too much. Time for a random encounter. All right, opponent, what are we up to? Terramorphic Expanse, go. This hand, I mean, we can ramp into random. Oh, is this control? My worry against control is our deck really only plays 1 spell a turn. Discounting against Breaching Dragonstorm kind of plays multiples, but control decks seem like they can probably just like counter our 1 spell a turn. Oh, it's artifacts. All right, the Iron Crag, sure. Artifacts probably get a lot better with Edge of Eternities. There's some pretty interesting new artifacts. Not sure about the Spacecraft. I still think Spacecraft are going to play better than people think. I see a lot of people really down on them, and I know the numbers are high. Fully admit that. But I actually think that I think they're going to play better than people think. Not that they're going to... Oh, my God. Synthesizer. Sure. Maybe Breaching Dragonstorm will save us. But I still think they're gonna be better than a lot of people think. Opponent scries 2 to the bottom. Well, all right. Soul Guide Lantern doesn't really matter. All right. Well, let's Breaching Dragonstorm. See what happens. Being able to blow up Synthesizer would be nice. That'd be a hit. All right, Boiler Biggles is fine. We also get to random encounter next turn, which is nice. Well, hit you for 4. Opponent tap land and United Battlefront. This could be, if they double hit, it's pretty bad. If they whiff, they might just scoop. Okay, well, that was kind of a freebie. I imagine our opponent just must have seen nothing to trigger Synthesizer, but yeah, they were gonna die to random encounter anyway. All right, this is another kind of slow hand, but we got a Dragon Storm at least. No ramp. Basically, any hand that doesn't ramp, I think of as a slow hand. Venerated Rot Priest, eh? Well, I mean, we got to kill that. Nothing good comes of a Venerated Rot Priest being on the battlefield. That's one thing I've learned over the last 3 years of Standard. If your opponent plays a turn 1 Rot Priest, bad things are going to happen if you don't kill it. About it. Kind of, ooh, Finn. Ugh, that's actually awkward. Oh, we might get punished for our slow hand here. It's kind of funny that Toxic is finally rotating. With all the like changes to rotation and everything, it feels like Toxic's just been in Standard forever. But we have finally reached the point of it leaving. Yeah, we might just be too slow here. We're taking 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going up to 7. We go up to 7, which means even if we, man, this is a lot of poison. Yeah, proliferate it. Which means we're gonna need, I guess, to win off the Breaching Dragon. We need the miracle of like Breaching Dragon Storm into random encounter into a bunch of Boiler Biggles, I think. Breaching Dragon Storm. Twin Maw Storm Brood. Huh. Yeah, let's play it as a blocker, I guess. I'm afraid if we go removal mode that they have protection. That seems like the kind of thing a deck like this would play, and then we just lose. This means we can try to block the Finn, although if they have removal, we also just lose. So I guess either way, yeah. Drowned and dead. Time for a random encounter, and we're gonna keep this. We need another land, but once we hit a land, we have roughly an infinite number of ramp spells. And there's a land anyway, opponent. Mono white tokens, maybe? Well, that's Cracked Terramorphic Expanse. Grab the forest. Play the land. I feel like tokens is... it's probably fine for us, right? They can't really counter our big plays. Well, let's play a Summon Fenrir. Do a little rampant. Also nice, one of the cute things about playing the pretty much all basic mana bases, we never run out of lands to find with Summon Fenrir and Springbloom Druid. That is for sure. I'll grab the mountain. Pass the turn. I guess we can just Breaching Dragon Storm next turn and see what happens. Opponent, another land on white. And I'm gonna not attack. No chump attacks here. I'll take up the Fenrir. Yeah, I mean, we gotta just Breaching Dragon Storm. If we play a 3-drop, we can only play 1. Gonna be better if we draw 1 more land, and then we can, like, double ramp spell. Yeah, all right. How about a Nurturing Bristleback? Not our... I mean, this card is kind of emblematic of the deck. Like, it cycles to get a forest, it adds 8 power, it adds 2 bodies. It's not an Atraxa or a Velgavoth or something, but it's still pretty good. Like, it still adds a lot of power, it still does a lot of things, and it's essentially free. Like, it's it's a random comment or whatever. Opponent going to block and sack with the fish, sure. And ooh, there's a Sunfall. It was funny, I was so excited for Sunfall rotating, only for Wizards to print another Sunfall. Well, Summon Fenrir, grab a land. And does it matter what order we do this in? Yeah, let's Springbloom. Let's do it this way. We could really use a random encounter. At least we're thinning our deck a bunch, so sooner or later, we might draw one. And Visa. Actually, pretty good Visa. Opponent passing. Twin Maw, eh? Are we just gonna keep ramping forever? Is that our... I guess we could play this Twin Maw Stormblood to pick up the Breaching Dragon Storm, but we can't recast it this turn. Let's run out the Fenrir. Little worried if they have another Sunfall, that we're just setting ourselves up to get blown out, but hopefully we're good. Springbloom, this is instant replay of last turn. Springbloom, sack a land, grab a couple lands. I mean, the more lands we thin out of the deck, the more likely we are to draw random encounters, so... opponent untaps. We might get to draw a Summon Fenrir card. Caretaker's Talent. Sure, opponent gonna get the card draw going. Ooh, okay. That is an issue. Elspeth Stormslayer. Double tokens. I mean, we gotta get rid of that, because eventually... okay, random encounter. That is a good one. That is a good one. Hopefully a good one. Well, random encounter. Let's see what we can find. Ooh, just a Palaka Worm? All right. Well, now we're going to kill the Visa. Hopefully we can trample over and kill this Elspeth. I think we just send literally the team at Elspeth. The problem with Elspeth is the 0 mode of putting counters on things and flying just makes you die. That's been like one of the interesting innovations of mono white tokens. Before mono white tokens, when it was a really good deck like a year ago, it was so grindy, and it was really good at grinding, but it was not very good at closing out the game quickly. Now you still have the grindiness, but Elspeth gives it this new element of like, there's actually this pressure that you can just die. Before you're like, yeah, whatever, they're grinding, eventually I can catch back up. With Elspeth though, that becomes much harder. Well, we got rid of the Elspeth. The board's cleaned up a bit. We're at 27, we pick up Block Worm, and we still have at least 2 more random encounters to go. And that was not even a good random encounter. I mean, we did get the Block Worm, so it wasn't a complete wash, but not as good as it could be. We also got our Diamond Weapon down to 2 mana. Had we tapped differently, we could have played a Diamond Weapon opponent. Are we leveling up the Caretaker's talent? Level it up. Copies the Bunny token. And levels it up. All right, well, let's Forest Cycle. Keep thinning the deck. 2 forests left. Thankfully, our life total is still pretty high. And we got another Block Worm, so we're not at risk. Wow. Lay down arms. All right, up to 30 for the moment. Back down to 27. Oh boy, another random encounter. Yeah, let's play the one from from the graveyard, I think. Random encounter. Ooh, okay, we hit 3 this time. That's not bad. And the Coliseum Behemoth, which can get rid of the Caretaker. Oh, that was really good. Get rid of the Caretaker's talent. We're just gonna go face. I mean, I don't think we literally win here, but that was a really good random encounter. That was a good one. Get it, hit you. Up to 32. Hit you to 15. Our opponent's taking a lot of damage. Coliseum Behemoth tramples. Wow. Opponent down to 3. Now let's run out this Diamond Weapon. Play the land. This also means we pick up the Boiler Biggle. So now our opponent has to gain life, which they can with the Carrot Cake, but wow, opponent just scoops it up. And, all right, ramp into Breaching Dragonstorm. We will accept it. Land, go. What are you up to, opponent? What are you up to? Schwamp, eh? Orzhov. Let's play the land. I guess we get down the summon Fenrir. Snag us a mountain. So typically, I don't put a lot of value in getting the planes for the Stormbrood early, because we can always just cast it as a removal spell. Oh my god. Lightning Helix on the Summon Fenrir. Well, that's a land. All right, let's see what happens. Breaching Dragonstorm. Spin it to win it into... All right, Block Worm. Pretty good. Pretty good. We never say no to a Block Worm. Up to 27. Block Worm's really still not that bad. Like, I know it might not be a 2025 card, but it's really not that bad. Caretaker's Stand. Wow, just levels it up for no value. Now, play the land, and, yeah, Overlord of the Boiler Biggles hit ya. Down to 19. And then worm ya down to 12. About it. For some reason, my game audio just stopped working. I've had issues with my computer for some. My sound on my computer, ever since I got it, I have weird issues with it, where it just like occasionally starts to crackle, and then I think it's something to do with my audio interface, or I'm not sure though. I haven't been able to figure it out. But randomly my game sounds, like my computer sounds cut out. But my mic keeps working, which is, I guess, good thinking. I mean, if you got a Wrath, I think, wow, they're just going to pass. Well, the bad news for us is we literally can't play anything this turn. Drawing the Land Cycler is not the worst, since we can get a land drop for next turn and then start casting 7 drops. But, all right, opponent. Inevitable defeat on the Boiler Biggles. Well, get you with Block Worm, opponent. Down to 8, and yeah. Do a little forest cycling. Snag us a forest. Well, next turn we get to start blowing up Caretaker's talents. So our opponent's like Mardu tokens? Well, there's an Elspeth. You got to kill the Block Worm, don't you? Yeah, opponent's going to blow up Block Worm. I mean, if they don't blow it up, it just is going to trample the Elspeth. Ew, double land. Is just play the land and get down the Behemoth. Blow up the Caretaker's talent, and ship the turn. Well, opponent still got the Elspeth, which is pretty good. They are down to 8, though. Urbras Forge. Sure. They can also make Fountain Pour tokens. All right, makes a Fountain Port token right now, and the Urbra's Forge tokens. Bound it, pass it. I think we just attack the Elspeth. Elspeth just scares me. It really scares me. When Elspeth comes down, I just expect him to die. Another Behemoth and blow up Urbra's Forge. Behemoth's actually been really good. Blowing up an artifact and enchantment. It's like 7 mana Cathar Commando. But in our deck, it's been really good. That and Palaka Worm have been oddly impressive in this deck. Found it. Found for sack, draw, desperation mode. Staring down the 7/7 tramplers. Can they hit a wrath? Opponent needs something. Opponent needs something, and they cannot hit it and scoop it up. And I gotta say, these random encounters actually went shockingly well. Way better than I would have thought, especially when you consider they only cost $20. But that's wrap-up stuff. Be right back. So what did we learn this week about having a $20 random encounter in Standard? And the deck actually worked pretty well. So we went 7-4 with the deck, which is honestly way better than I would have thought this deck would do, and actually a winning record, which is kind of shocking. And it actually felt oddly kind of powerful. Like, I was kind of blown away at just how good Random Encounter was. And yes, there is variance involved, so it'll probably never be a top tier Standard card, but we got to see some really crazy, like, turn 4 win games where we just ramp into Random Encounter, hit multiple Boiler Biggles, and our opponent would just die on the spot. We also got to see some insanely grindy games where it took us like 5 or 6 Random Encounters to finally close out the game, because the first ones we'd hit like a bunch of lands and a summon Fenrir or whatever. So there is some variance there, but the deck actually performed really well. And maybe the funniest part of it is all of these big bad creatures are actually really not that bad. Like, they're bad when you think of Valgavoth or Atraxa or a Tally, like the power creepy new finishers that we have, that rare and mythic. But honestly, like Palaka Orb, 7 mana, 7/7 trample, Gates of Life, or even Coliseum Behemoth. We had so much success using Coliseum Behemoth to blow up Caretaker's talents and Unholy Annexes and Simulacrum Synthesizers. But I actually came away feeling like, yeah, I mean, maybe it's not Atraxa, but these cards are still very powerful, and especially in a budget deck like this. The only other thing I wanted to say about the deck, obviously, Boiler Biggles, so good, so good. I got to play more Boiler Biggles. But the mana base, it looks scary. Like, when you look at it, it looks like kind of a questionable limited mana base with so many basics, but in practice, between the Terramorphic expanses and the Summon Fenrirs and our other ramp spells, the color screw issue was not really a problem at all. Like, in Magic, yes, you're always going to have some games where you want to draw land number 7 and you never get there. Like, that's just part of playing Magic, but the colors is something that we control, and even with this almost all basic mana base, the colors were really never a problem. So if you're looking for a deck that's only $20 and does really funny things, and has big explosive turns, and actually wins way more than it should, keep this deck in mind, because I found it really fun, and it was way more successful than I expected it to be. So anyway, that is a $20 random encounter in Standard. That's been our Budget Magic for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I will talk to you soon.